In the previous chapter, which was chapter 3, we looked at arithmetic operators and how to use the sum function to carry out a few manipulations of data in Excel. Today, we are going to look at the comparison operators, reference operators, and how to use the SUMIf function. Hello viewers, welcome here once again. Take a seat, open your Excel workbook, and we work through along with me. Okay, you're welcome. We are going to start with the comparison operators. The comparison operators, these are used to compare two values, and the result is a logical value which is either true or false. Now, there are examples of these comparison operators. We have the equal sign, the greater than sign, less than sign, greater than or equal to sign, less than or equal to sign, then the last one, not equal to sign. Now, here with me I have a workbook that we are going to use. Now let us start with the first comparison operator, which is equal sign. How do we use it? The equal sign, for instance, we shall sample, I will use cell values in cell C3, then values in cell D3. Let me color them differently. Let me use the comparison operator of equal to on these two values. I will say equals C3, and I say, I think I put it in parentheses, say C3 is equals to D3. Our intention is to test, is a value in C3 equals to the value in D3, and you press enter and you see what it will tell us. It says this is a false because 34 is not equals to 87. Then what if we had to put here 34 as well? What will happen? It says it is now true because 34 is equals to 34. That is the equal to sign. Then let us check for the greater than sign. We shall still use, I'll take back this value to 87. Then let us look for the greater than sign. How does it behave? Shall say equals, open parentheses, then I will say C3 is greater than, shall use that sign to represent greater than D3, value in D3. Press enter, see what it brings. It says it is false because 34 is not greater than 87. Then let us look at the less than sign. The less than sign shall also say equals, open parentheses, then we say 34 by taking its cell reference C3 is less than the value in D3, close parentheses and press enter. It says it is true because, sincerely speaking, 34 is less than 87. Then let us go ahead and look at the greater than or equal to sign. Shall say, because we are still comparing these two values, we shall use these values throughout this example. Shall say, taking the reference by simply clicking on it, is greater than or equal to, is greater than or equal to a value in D3, close parentheses and press enter. It says it is false. 34 is not equal to 87, and neither is it greater than 87. Then let us check for the next one, less than or equal to. Less than or equal to, let us test it using those very two values. Shall open parentheses and come and click on it once and say we want to test and see whether a value in cell C3 is less than or equal to a value in D3. Close parentheses and press enter. It says it is true because 34 is far less than 87. The last one we want to test is the not equal to sign. The not equal to sign shall also test it using these two values, and we find out. Shall say equals, open parentheses, then shall say this value in C3 is not equal to, we use these two angle brackets, the first one, the next one. It kind of differs from mathematics whereby you write the equal sign and cross it. Here it is different. We use the two angle brackets. Then is not equals to D3. Close bracket and press enter. It says that is true because this value is not equals to this. This is 34, this is 87. But if we change this to 34, you press enter, these values logically change respectively. Take a few minutes, practice through, and you come and we continue with the reference operators. Okay, welcome back. Let us now look at the reference operators. The reference operators are used to combine ranges of cells for calculations. For example, we have the colon, we have the comma, and the space operators. We shall start with the colon operator. The colon operator, this is a range operator which produces one reference to all references, and specifically between two references, but not leaving out the two references. Let us see how it appears. The colon operator is a range operator like we said, and its work is to simply produce one reference to cells between two references, not leaving out the two references. This is how it works. We saw it in the previous example where we said equals to sum, open parentheses, then we want the sum of values between these 3 through the 18. Here we are using the range operator, which is getting the values between these two ranges, but it is not going to leave out these starting references and ending references themselves. I mean D3 and D18. When you press enter, you get the result, while you've been helped by the reference operator, which is a colon. Let us look at a comma. A comma is also a reference operator. For it, it is not a range operator this time around. It is a union operator which combines multiple references into one reference. Let us see how it can work in a practical way. We shall still use the sum function to see how the comma works to bring about the union. Shall say equals the sum, open bracket. I'm going to get the sum of this range. I'll select it through comma. We are using the comma, which is a union operator. Then select this as a range. Close parentheses. and we shall find the result of getting the union of this range plus this range. So we are using the union operator here, which is a comma in the center here. So when you press enter, it gives you the result of adding this range plus this other range. Okay, let us look at the space operator. The space operator, it is an intersection operator which produces one reference to cells common to the two references. Now let us see how it works in a live example here in Excel. First of all, come and write equals, then I will take this range, that is C3 through E18, then put a space using the space bar on the keyboard. Then I will also consider the range D3 through D18, then press enter. It says the intersection between C3 through E18 and D3 through D18 is 34. So the space operator, that is the intersection operator, helps us to produce one reference which is common to the two references. Then lastly, we shall look at the ampersand. For it, it is used to connect two values to produce one continuous text. How does it work? For instance, I'll put here sample data. I'll put here this name, then in the next cell I'll put it there, this name. Then I will use the ampersand to connect these two values here in these cells. I will say equals, I get this value. The ampersand is placed in the center there. Click on this other one and press enter. It must bring a connection of the two values to produce one continuous text, and this is what it has done. Look through and practice a few examples, and you come back and we proceed. Yes, welcome back. Let us now look at the SUMIf function. The SUMIf function, it is used to find the sum of values in a range that meet a certain specified criteria by the user. Now, the SUMIf function has arguments, which we are going to look at briefly. Let us open this workbook. I entered here some content here already. Come to an empty cell and say equals to sum if, open parentheses, and the whole syntax of the SUMIf function displays here. The first parameter here, or argument we have here, is range. The range argument, it is a required argument. Then it is the range that you want to evaluate using this criteria. Then what about the criteria? The criteria is also a required argument. These are required arguments because you can't write this function without these arguments here. They must be supplied for this function to perform a given task. The criteria, it can be numbers, expressions, it can be a cell reference, text, or a function that define which cells will be added. And then the last one is the sum range. The sum range is the one in square brackets here. It is an optional argument, and it is the one which shows the actual cells to add. Now, let us apply this function with some data for us to use. Let us take the range for us to sum as the range D3 through D18, comma, the criteria. Now this is what happens. Immediately you write the first argument and put a comma, it skips and goes to the second argument, that is the criteria. The criteria, I want it to add those values which are greater than 90. Let's say add those values greater than 90. I put it in quotes. Then it jumps, immediately I put a comma, it skips to the next argument. Then I want it to add those values which are greater than 90 and they are corresponding to those values in this range. Now this is the actual range of values I want to sum, meaning it will get the criteria from this range and add values which are corresponding in this range. I close the parentheses, press enter. It says this is the result, meaning the values greater than 90, we have 91, 92, and I think those are the only values. Then it moves over to the next column and adds these two values to get 121. Then this is what happens. In case you don't supply the last argument, because we said it is optional, in case you remove it out, this is what the SUMIf function will do. It will get these values, the values from this range which meet this criteria, and sum them up. This is what it does. So for today, this is what we have looked at. We have looked at the SUMIf function. Then we have looked at the reference operators and the comparison operators. In the next chapter, we are going to look at the SUMIf function. This time around, when it is having S, SUMIf. So, and other functions will also be coming on the way. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and liking this video.